There are things I need of you, things you may not understand and may not wish to do, but please do not make the same mistakes I did. My father, Howard, deserted me before I was born. I could claim the loss of my mother, and the letter I received after her funeral blinded me to what I had to do. It would be a lie. Human nature sealed my downfall. My name is Philip. If we are lucky, then by the time you receive this, I will be dead. If fate frowns, we all perish. Dang, I kinda timed that very well, like the way it faded out and stuff. I couldn't have chose a better time to start reading that out. Anyways, if you haven't noticed, welcome to Penumbra Overture. Now, I do actually already have a video of this on my channel, but for reasons that I legitimately can't remember, I discontinued it. Same with Amnesia Rebirth. Aside from Day Shift at Freddy's, they're the only games on my channel that I haven't completed that aren't ongoing. So, I decided it would be very fun to start a new series where I play all of the frictional games in order, starting from Penumbra Overture all the way down to... all the way up actually, to Amnesia the Bunker. And Soma will be included, because I don't think I've ever actually finished Soma. I played maybe the first 3 hours or so. Didn't get very far, to be honest. I was too scared. But we'll get there eventually. For now, we're playing Penumbra Overture. I did a little fun thing where I discussed the potential meaning of this title, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think the title roughly translates to, like, Adventure into the Deep Shadow or something like that. But it's been a long time and I can't really remember. And before we press play, I would like to examine this menu a bit. So this appears to be the main character Philip at the, presumably his mother's funeral, so this must take place right before the events of the game. Already this game's built up quite a bit of intrigue just from the menu and little text you get beforehand, which is really cool. I don't think there's that many options to mess with, so I'm just gonna get right into the game. Easy for players who are bad at action games. Enemies find it harder to spot you, move slower, and deal less damage. Which reminds me, it's funny it says action game, because I think Penumbra Overture, while being tagged as a horror game, is not really considered a horror game. It's not like as much of a horror game like the other ones. It's more of an action game with horror elements. Normal, recommended, suits most players, the most balanced mode to play in. Enemies can take more damage and are faster, hard mode for players wanting a real challenge. I would say that would be me. My story began in February, year 2000. Ooh, the turn of a new millennium.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made. Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it, so when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. Pity he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline. His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolution, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of. In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor. Of course, I went, as he knew I would. I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time. My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me. The university I taught at was world renowned for two things: physics and linguistics. I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland. It took me almost a year to book the last flight I'd ever take. As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day, and I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind. We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning the 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Very interesting. That's really cool. I already really like the main character from the writing alone. I love the way he talks and the words he chooses to express himself with. Finally, we're almost docked. I'd better store my gear. I may be far from home, but chances are I can still pick things up using left mouse. Oh, using left mouse, and I can take a closer look at things using right mouse. I always love it when the main character breaks character just to tell you the rules of the game. Yeah, the physics engine is a bit different than it was in Amnesia: Dark Descent. Not too different, but for one thing the hand is still visible. But the thing I like most is you can do this. Cool, right? I have no idea what use this has. I've never really found it useful, but you can do it and it's satisfying. See? It's just really satisfying. It's a rickety wooden desk. I can get that drawer open if I hold the interact button with the mouse. I sure can, Philip. Sorry if my voice sounds croaky, by the way. I literally just got up and started recording. I'm certain this map's a good decade or so out of date, but landmarks don't change much in Greenland, so I've got a pretty decent idea of where I'm heading. Fair enough. Sorry, just tried to clear my throat. Is that a bottle of Jack Daniels? Oh, no, it's Jack Annuals. They can't use the full one. How did you get a, what the heck? I don't remember throwing these things over here. Get out of here. I think it's because we're on a boat, but things are mysteriously moving. Always good to have a notebook. Sure is, I actually very much agree with that, to jot down interesting information and reminders. I think I left my torch in the desk drawer next to the bed. It can be opened using left mouse on it, holding the button down and moving the mouse. This fog closed in on us almost as soon as we left port. Haven't seen any landmarks for ages now. I don't know how they're managing to navigate. I'd be as good as lost at sea if I were on my own. Not a thought worth thinking. Sure isn't, my friend. These people are very, very well, they're very skilled at travel, clearly. I don't remember, I could have sworn I put you on the top bunk. Stay up there. Somewhere out there must be land and answers. Well, I don't know about answers, but surely land. Oh my gosh, that belonged to somebody. What am I doing? This isn't my boat. And I'm reading their notes. This is... Wow, it's a wife's love letter. This is very personal, Philip. Why are you doing this? Dearest Eric, just a quick note before you set sail and leave me once again. I've left you a little something to remember me by in the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board. Taking shifts because of it is no way to get your rest. But what does a fisherman's wife know of life at sea? I'll be praying every night for you to make the catch you need so that you can come home to me safely. And soon. Please don't be gone for 5 weeks like last time. I know I might nag sometimes, but I do love you, you know. I've washed those overalls of yours, and I know you'll get them covered in assorted fish pots in no time, but I still feel better knowing they've had a wash. Before I forget, the Henriksons in the village have asked me to see if you'll be coming by any trout, but I said they were mostly out of season. If you do happen upon any, don't say anything. Store them well in the ice, and I'll do something special with them to celebrate when you come home to me. The ship's captain deserves a special treatment once in a while. Take care, my love. A very sweet letter that I just stole, apparently. Oh my goodness. Philip. From the smell, I'd say there's an equal chance to use the chest for personal belongings or bait. Well, yeah, I would say so. It's about the only containment in here besides that locker. But what the heck, Philip? I didn't just read the fisherman's letter, I took it. I hope he saw it before I did that. Pretty odorous. Glad I'm getting out of here soon. They must eat, sleep, and, well, do everything else in this one room, for weeks at a time. I don't like that I noticed there's a bucket there. I'm sure it's just for carrying... What's it called again? Like chum or something? You know, all those those fish parts you don't need or something like that. I'm not very well versed in the... Whoa, that was impressive! I'm leaving that chest open. It's a testament to how that bucket just frickin' opened it. Oh, by the way, I do want to 100% this game, but no promises. I'm not gonna, like, put that in the title or whatever and sell the idea that I'm gonna 100% complete this game. Because there is a lot to do in it. There's not really any collectibles, there's not even any achievements, but I guess to 100% this game it would be collecting all the items available and all the notes and stuff, and just right-clicking everything. The crew seemed friendly enough, but just in case, I locked up my valuables. I'm pretty sure the key's in my inventory somewhere. Once I found it, double-clicking the left mouse button should get it selected. Then I can press interact on the padlock to unlock it. Philip, it's very weird that you know all of that, Philip. A photo of the fisherman's wife. She's no Playboy bunny, but she looks loving and kind. Playboy poster. It's nice some things don't change no matter how far away you are from home. Philip, you know, you go over here, you judge the appearance of this man's wife, and then you immediately steal their note? What's wrong with you? The flashlight switches on and off via the inventory tab, or hopefully with the shortcut key, F. Now, where's that emergency glow stick? Should be still in the locker. Here's in my inventory. Alright, I don't think there's anything else to interact with in this room. Oh hey, that's Philip himself. I'm as fit as could be expected. Good thing I have my torch at hand. This country seems to exist in a permanent state of twilight. Ah, some extra batteries to power my flashlight. Got a padlock too. I've never used the padlock, but you can actually lock doors with it. Oh, did I just use those batteries on automatic? Should come in handy if the torch runs out of batteries. Should be able to access it through my inventory or with the shortcut key. That should be everything I need. I want to get out before it gets dark. Puppies and whatever the heck that is. Alright, yeah, I'd say I'm pretty sorted. Doesn't look like there's anything else to interact with in here. I don't really need that up there, I can just press F. You're not gonna take your coat, Philip? You really should take your coat, I'm just saying. As I stepped off the boat, setting out into the blizzard that had formed around me, I realized how utterly devoted I'd been to the discovery of my father's past. I had no idea what to expect. Soon enough, my concerns were justified. I don't know whether I lost my orientation or my spirit first, but I lost feeling in my extremities soon after. I knew hypothermia was setting in. I started to look for shelter. Yeah, this is exceptionally dangerous. So cold. Don't know where I am, need shelter soon. Normally I wouldn't read that so quickly, but we are in quite of a hurry. My entire head went numb a long time ago, but I swear I can still hear the wind roaring past. Or is that some kind of animal? If I click and hold the interact button, I should just about manage to pick up that rock. The cold's made me weak, but I can still throw things using the examine button when I'm carrying something. Normally I take my time a lot more. If I use interact mode, I can swing the stone more accurately. Oh, that's what this is for. Sweet. I hope to God it's not frozen inside as well. It's so weak, but if I just use interact mode, I should be able to turn that wheel a bit easier. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm in a hurry because Philip is dying, legitimately, like his health is going down. And also, yeah, I did hear what looks like, what sounds like wolves. So that'll be the animal roaring in the distance, not the wind, but there is wind too. Yikes, good thing this, Jesus, my head, I can't believe I fell that far and survived. Although, looking around, maybe I didn't. What is this place? I can't believe I fell, like, that far and I'm still alive. And not only that, Philip was really lucky that this thing was strong enough to support his weight and he didn't go falling in it. I mean, it looks like it's made of wood. I figured the wood would be like really easy to break by now, but I guess not. No, wait, no, that's definitely metal. Well, still, maybe the metal would have rusted and he'd broken through. Point is, he's a lucky guy. I should have known that rusty ladder wouldn't hold my weight, but I didn't have any choice. I'd rather die down here than suffer that cold any longer. He also left the thing open. A heavy-looking wooden barrel. Could be anything inside of it. Empty boxes of ammunition? What is this place? Alright, so there's 2 potential light sources in this game, which is unique from Amnesia. Well, kinda. Amnesia had tinder boxes and a lantern. But in this game you have glow stick and you have flashlight. Now the flashlight reaches further, but doesn't cover as much area around you, while the glow stick has a bigger area of effect, but it doesn't go quite as far. However, I always use the glow stick, one, because this is something I associate with Penumbra much more than this, and also the flashlight frickin' sucks. It drains battery like crazy. Or at least in the second game it does. I don't know about the first game. I never really paid any attention. Empty boxes of ammunition. What is this place? Well, it appears to be a bunker of some kind, Philip. Oh yeah, and these flares, which I never ever use, I guess you could say they're an alternative light source, but really I know them for stopping spiders more than anything, which I learned about in reading a comment section while watching an old Markiplier video where he played Penumbra. But that was the only time I learned that you use red flares against spiders. I never found that out on my own. Physics in this game are great to play with as well, just like in Amnesia: Dark Descent. It's stuck, there must be something in the way. Well, Philip has a concussion now. There's always some blocked door in horror games, isn't there? Do you think if you're in a real-life horror situation, that you would find as many locked doors as a main character in a horror game does? It's a 24-hour ration pack, long past its sell date. I saw what that said, but hey, I guess I'm dyslexic, I just can't read. The hammer's seen some action in its time. Let's see, I can swing this hammer if I hold down the left mouse button. I can make a back swing by pulling the mouse right, and follow through by pushing left. The opposite works too, pulling back and then thrusting forward produces a stabbing motion. I reckon if I hold down the right mouse button after the swing, the backswing, I should still be able to look around. What are you talking about, Philip? These shells are as old as everything else around here. Could be over 50 years since anyone's been down here. Philip's already lost his mind and we just started playing. Back in the cabin he's talking about right mouse, left mouse, this mouse, that mouse. The only mouse you're likely to find in here, Philip, would be the animal. We'll have flares at 3 since I'm going to count them as a weapon. The only thing I want in these hotkeys is the glow stick, hammer, the flares, medication, and maybe some other things here if I feel like it, but generally that's all I want there. Also, let's see if Philip writes everything down like Daniel does. He does. I'm in some kind of underground installation, but the only door out of the room I'm in is locked. Need to find some way around. And there's that letter you stole for some reason. Oh, sweet. Goodness me. Sweet cake. Sweet biscuits. Throw it away. Throw it away. Get it out of my face. I don't want to see it anymore. Alright, I'm just going to pretend there's a spider over here so I don't feel like I wasted this. Back, foul beast. Back, you arachnide scum. Get out of here. Stay in that corner. Remember what you did wrong. In fact, I'm going to block you in there. That'll keep you in there, you arachnid scum. In fact, I'm going to push it upward. No, I'm not. Philip isn't that strong. Gotta remember, it's 2 for the hammer. This hole's been boarded up a long time ago. The wood looks pretty soft now. Yeah, that's what I should have used for that back there. The wood must have gone soft after all these years. Turns out though, it wasn't even wood, it was something else. Matter of fact, get these flares far away. Okay, get these flares far away from my hammer, because I will not let that happen again. Alright, this loops back around to where we're supposed to go. And this also loops back around to where we're supposed to go. Looks like some kind of industrial mechanism, although there's a hole in the center and no way to operate it. Well, okay, relax. I mean, we all know by the time I get down there, you're not even gonna be there, whatever you are. This hatch is seriously solid. It won't open by hand. Someone obviously wanted to keep people out or in. Interesting. My personal theory for that is some of the bunker men managed to escape, and in their escape they locked this, broke off the mechanism so no one could open it again, locked the door, and then I guess they crawled through here and got out over there. And they must have climbed out of here. So some people must have gotten out alive. And I'm undoing all of their handiwork and going in deeper because I'm insane, I guess. You know, I do want to say, by the way, before we delve deeper into this facility, the main characters in fictional games, I've noticed, tend to be pretty intelligent, to varying degrees. I would say the smartest one I've played as so far is Philip. He isn't just intelligent, he's like actually a genius from what I can see so far. And I suppose if you're going to survive in these kinds of horror situations, you have to be intelligent to some degree to figure out all these things that you have to figure out and progress through the situation you're in and avoid the monsters and whatnot. So it does make sense, but Philip's a genius. In the next game I believe we also play as Philip, so you know, still genius. And then in Requiem, Penumbra Requiem, which I never finished because I was bored in my mind, I think was also Philip, so again, genius. And then in Amnesia, Dr. Sent you play as Daniel. Now, I don't know if he's a genius or not. He wasn't stupid by any means, though. Certainly naive, but gullible, but not stupid. I would say he was quite intelligent. Moving on, with Mandis, we go back into genius territory. With Tazi, again, I wouldn't say genius, but she did seem very intelligent, much like Daniel. Between the two, Tazi and Daniel, I don't know which one would be considered smarter, but I mean, Daniel was more robust with his words, but that doesn't mean he was smarter. That was just a time period thing. Also, I can move this with my body, which is really cool. I just freaking love the physics in this game. You can move it with your hand, you can push it. You can probably throw it close too. Yeah, you can. Anyways, moving on into the bunker, we play as somebody else. I don't remember their name, which I haven't really played that game. I played a bit of the beginning and the demo, but that's about it. I had to get a better computer before I could play that. So it's going to be mostly blind when you get to that. But the main character, I can't say much in their intelligence because I haven't played it. But, from what I saw, he seems quite intelligent. And then Soma, I don't know who you play as in that, and I don't really know how smart they are, but I'm gonna guess again that they're intelligent. Which is funny because the decisions they make are also stupid, like what Philip is doing right now. Whatever I was descending into, it was 100 feet below ground, protected by 2 solid metal hatches, located in a remote Arctic wilderness, and buried beneath the snow. I didn't know what to expect, but it made me feel something I hadn't felt since I was a child. I'd never given it much thought before, but I realized that our entire society is a network of safety nets, emergency services at the end of a phone line, health and safety in the workplace, friends, family, lovers, all there. If something goes wrong, part of a carefully designed structure to prevent all but the most mundane of emotions. Once again, I felt like I did when I was in school, surrounded by a closing ring of older kids, knowing anyone that might help me, friends, parents, teachers, were too scared, too far away. or too far away. Interesting, we're delving a bit into Philip's past here. I doubt they'll go into much detail about his past. It's not as important for us to know Philip's origin story as it is Daniel's, which even then they didn't really talk much about Daniel's past, but they gave you enough to understand why he was the way he was. Same with Tozzy. And also Philip is totally right. You don't realize just how many, like, safety nets, as he puts it, there are in current society, but, you know, when you end up in a situation where you can't rely on those things, like say you end up lost in a forest, you don't have any knowledge of how to survive in the wilderness, and you don't have any, like equipment with you, there's no way you can contact people, you're all alone, then you truly feel like you start to miss all of those safety nets. And I believe Philip is experiencing that right now. Thank you, Philip, for letting me know when you jot down notes. The entrance to the cave is caved in. There must be another way out. There could be anything living down here. Heroics are for the Hollywood actors and fairy tales. I'm not taking any chances. If I face off against anything down here, I won't last a second. Caution and stealth are my only defenses now. If anyone or anything hears me, I'd be best off staying low, goodness me, and out of sight until I know whether or not it's a threat. Crouching or by pressing left control will give me the chance to hide in the shadows. I'll know I've got it right because of the blue tint to my vision. Plus, I should be quiet enough that I won't be heard unless something's right on top of me. Better remember to shut off any light sources though. Thanks for the reminder, Philip. Oh my gosh, I don't know about you guys, but I can't see a single thing. My best bet is to hide for a couple of seconds or so, perfectly still. That'll make me properly hidden. Alright, so, something else I want to mention about this game. Like that, I'll be virtually invisible. After some time, I should get my night vision back, provided I stay still. I don't think humans work like that, Philip, but whatever. Not as heavy as it looks, it still should serve as some form of weapon if I have to defend myself. A wooden box. Alright, so, what was I saying? Oh yes, the time period of this game is interesting because Amnesia, all of the games take place in the past. I believe the latest is like 1930 something. Or maybe 1940 something. I think Soma takes place in the far future though. So that would be the furthest in the timeline. Though I don't know about, like, if Penumbra, Amnesia, and Soma are all in the same universe. Same developers, but I think Penumbra's in its own universe, Soma's in its own universe, and Amnesia's in its own universe. Also, we'll be going to the right first, towards the office. It would be kind of cool if all the games were connected though, especially the Penumbra and Amnesia universes. Though, as far as I can tell, the only connection that Penumbra and Amnesia have would be these chests right here. They're the exact same chest. Like, literally the same model. So they obviously recycled some Penumbra assets for the Amnesia game, which is totally cool. So much history in this place, tied up in words and left to decompose. I know, it's really cool. I love history. The text on these pages is illegible. Years of damp and cold have dissolved its meaning forever. Oh my gosh, he just uses the flashlights immediately. I mean, the batteries immediately. And it's an old artifact. I think that was spelled incorrectly. It's a fairly basic work desk. The place must have been converted into some functional office at some stage in its history. Ooh, a key. Normally when I pick keys up, bad things happen, but I think that's mostly just a amnesia thing. That's some backstring. Oh, a lot of reading. And words that I don't really know how to say. Copenhagen Post, Monday, 17th of August, 1930. psychotropic deposits at the bottom of Death Mine. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have suggested that mind-altering chemicals naturally sown into the rock may be the cause of high suicide rates at a Greenland mine. The university, which has recently been conducting studies in 2 isolated communities, first became interested in the workers of the Northwestern lead mine last year. They discovered that even taking into account Greenland's naturally higher suicide rate, local figures for the last 100 years were abnormally high, at 46 deaths per 100,000 populace compared to the national average at 29. On further investigation, experts diagnosed in many of the miners symptoms in common with the earlier stages of paranoid schizophrenia. This has prompted researchers to hypothesize that natural deposits of lysergic acid, a pH4 formula recently discovered to have hallucinogenic properties, may be present in the rocks. A few locals were conducive to interview, but those who agreed to speak had their own explanation. Invit spirits, known as the Turngate, live in the mountains, or the Turngate, however you say that. The university is awaiting the results of chemical testing. Studies continue. Interesting, so we already have a potential monster name, as well as a potential realistic explanation for what could be going on here, though we have yet to see it with our own eyes. It's a picture of a British platoon. It must date back to World War II. I suppose this mine was converted into some kind of bunker. I wonder if Penumbra Overture had any inspiration for Amnesia the Bunker. I mean, the only thing that makes me say that is the fact that they both seem to take place in a bunker so far. And you know, so far we haven't really seen anything paranormal in this game so far. I mean, we've heard animal noises, but the only real danger has been the harsh reality of the real world. 15th of August 1945, Command Bunker, Emergency Airstrip Zulu, Weekly Report. Another unremarkable week in Greenland. Regular supply shipment received, standard emergency drills carried out, routine runway maintenance completed. I've ordered maintenance be carried out twice weekly from here on in due to increased snowfall. 1 wounded. The 1 wounded figure is no cause for concern back in London. The Germans haven't extended their front line by 4,000 miles. 2 of my men were caught manufacturing cherry bombs in our workshop/armory and succeeded in blowing off a couple of fingers. I take partial responsibility for this, in that I allowed them to access the demolitions manual we keep in the storeroom, and I'm sure that's where they learned the ingredients. As a precautionary measure, I have now locked up that manual in a chest in my office, and will keep the key on my person at all times. If the key that I just picked up in this drawer is the key to that chest, then you did a bad job of it. That was not on your person. Needless to say, both men have been disciplined, and the injured man has been sent home for medical care. I cannot help but think that a more suitable punishment would have been for him to stay out here, but the matter is out of my hands. The base is so disconnected, sometimes I feel as if this war could end, and we might not even hear about it out here. Supplies requisition order, dynamite for evacuation purposes, excavation purposes. 7 bayonets, not necessary in my opinion. Procedure states we should have a full complement. 1 industrial ice pick for removing the dawned ice that forms around the external hatch. Yeah, I had experience with that. 1 pair of reading glasses, category 7C, in order for myself. My glasses are in a rather poor state of repair and could do with replacing. Reconditioning of the mine continues to progress. The structure is being fortified from potential bomb damage, and excavation of previously caved-in areas is going ahead. 1 point of curiosity is some kind of archaeological find. An artifact buried in the earth, discovered by one of the work teams later this evening. After martial duty, I shall take a closer look at the artifact. It appears to be man-made and may have working parts inside. I shall remove what looks like the front cover and see if I can discover the source of the light which constantly emanates from it. Chief NCO something or another major. Yeah, before we interact with that mysterious alien object, I'd like to investigate this room a little further. This typewriter dates back even further than the war, made in Germany in 1923. And it still works by the looks of things. Yeah, they don't build things like they used to, man. Things just aren't built to last these days. Beef jerky. Feeling peckish? Beef jerky, not without aroma. an age-old filing cabinet, more beef jerky. The beef jerky is for distracting some enemies later in the game, but I don't tend to use it. I just tend to throw hands if I'm being honest. I mean, it's not that hard to fight them if you can find a elevated platform. I'll show you when we get there. A chest for storing valuables, that it is, my friend. You know what, actually, I'm not accidentally using health, no way. Just like I accidentally used that flare. Big book of explosives, and also big book of destroying my voice, because there's going to be more reading. 1923 edition. Wow, same time the typewriter came out. Now that I think about it, the typewriter was probably used to create this manual. Maybe, who knows. Chapter 1.3, Black Match Fuse. The Black Match Fuse is one of the oldest, simplest, and most reliable fuses in modern pyrotechnics. It is easy to create, essentially consisting of string and gunpowder, but be warned, the chemicals concerned will stain clothing, and as always, due concern is advised. Materials used, string, preferably cotton, black gunpowder, backstrin. The string should be coated with a thin layer of backstrin which acts as an adhesive. The string is then carefully rolled in the gunpowder and left to dry at least a couple of minutes before use. Chapter 2.1, Dynamite, invented by Alfred Nobel in 1866. Oh, isn't this what he got the Nobel Prize for? Or like what created the Nobel Prize? Is his creation of dynamite? Dynamite is commonly used in construction, mining, and demolition. It is proved far safer to handle than alternatives such as pure nitroglycerin. Provided, that is, it has been properly stored over time, the explosive component of dynamite, supposedly made safe by the presence of diatomaceous earth, has a tendency to weep, making an old box of the explosive liable to detonate on contact. Materials required: 1 part diatomaceous earth, 3 parts nitroglycerin, small amount of sodium carbonate. Text is unreadable, and then simply form into short sticks and wrap in paper. Chapter 2.3, Trinitrotoluene TNT. TNT was first discovered in 1863 by German chemist Joseph Wilbrand, but it took some years before it yielded its true potential. This was because of the difficulty of making it explode and the lesser detonation in comparison to dynamite. The main advantage was discovered by the German Navy, who had employed TNT's relative explosive stability in order to cause massive damage to British warships. Their torpedoes could be detonated inside a ship's armor rather than exploding on contact, as did other shells. Chapter 2.6, Armstrong's Mixture. Armstrong's Mixture is included in this book as more of a point of interest than as a viable chemical mix. Formula exists as somewhat of a legend in modern pyrotechnics, referenced by those knowledgeable enough to stay away from it as Death Mix. Its incredible volatility make it unsuitable for almost all potential applications. Materials required: red phosphorus and barium. The mixture can be carefully and slowly mixed to minimize risk to the chemist. Sulfur can substitute for some or all of the barium to slightly decrease sensitivity. Interesting, fascinating read and a deep look into explosive stuff. Very nice. Light. I miss being outside already. This place is starting to get to me. But even if I could reach that grate, it looks built into the rock itself. No way it's coming loose. Buddy, I know how much you want to get out of here, trust me. But, getting out into that is not a good idea. You will surely perish. This is a save state, by the way, but I'll get into it a bit later. A man, an old man, clutching something unseen. He is strange, and yet he is no stranger. Never seen before, still I know. This man before me is Howard. I call him Father. See, these things are fascinating, and I don't know what they're about yet, anyways. Ugh, what the hell? What just happened? I don't know if that was such a good idea. Well, it was for me. I don't know about you, Philip, but this saves the game, and I don't really want to rely on autosaves, since they can often be a bit, well, unreliable, I suppose. But, yeah, these things are interesting. Not only do they show Philip, like, these weird visions, I personally believe that they show Philip visions of the past, present, and future at the same time, creating very confusion visions. But they allow him to see context of the past, present, and future so he can decide what to do. So in other words, what I believe these are stored memories. And one of my main theories for that is, what is it called? You know those capsule things from Amnesia: The Dark Descent that Alexander would store his memories in as like a sort of diary? He would use it like Daniel would write notes. It was basically Alexander's notes, and he would store them in futuristic tech that looked kind of like this, but it was much more blue. Yeah, that's why I think that's what this is. I think it's basically just stored memories. And I think when you use it, it's storing Philip's memories. However, it seems canonical that when Philip dies, he is sent back to these things. Though he never mentions it outright, so I don't really know if it's canonical or not. But it seems to be that these aren't just storing his memories, but they're storing him permanently? I don't know, it's confusing, but we'll soon find out, I'm sure. I can't remember if we got anything in there that was important. Oh yeah, the backstream. So where I want to head next is... Oh no, is there something else down here? I just can't wait here. I can't wait around here. Hide! Believe it or not, it's hard to... Oh, my light source. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's darker than Philip's future, but it is crazy to... I've never been this scared in my life. I can feel my heart racing. If anything gets within a few more feet of my hiding spot, I'd better not stare it out. Anything within my field of vision might panic me, and then I'm a goner. What was I saying? Oh right, yeah, the dog is spooky. But I don't know if you can see it. Wow, that is magnificent. I can't believe I pulled that off. The chances that I heard that are pretty low. Guys, should I turn up my brightness? I mean, it's crazy dark right now, and I want you guys to be able to see the game. I don't know, I suppose it is a bit immersive. I just hope it isn't too dark for you. Because I can't see anything right now. Granted, it is the morning, and the sun is shining through my window at the moment, and my blinds are up. Matter of fact, what are my blinds doing up? I need the immersion. Hold on a sec. Maybe I should cut that out. You know, from professional, I should probably cut that out, but I'm not going to. You guys will just have to wait for me to get back, eh? This door is locked. I don't think we have anything for it at the moment, so I'm just gonna keep moving. I want to go to storage next. Oh, hey, that actually seems to be where we're going right now. Believe it or not, by the way, I still can't see anything. There's somehow still light on my screen. I think it's because the blinds are like, they're not fully closed. I did a bad job of that. How did I mess up closing the blinds? What's wrong with me? Alright, I heard a growl. That's not good. Oh no, I made it worse. There's more light on my freaking screen now. What was even the point of doing that? Lots of paper boxes with rusty nails. Just old paint cans dried up long ago. What does that say? Gremlins? Oh, green paint? Great paint? I swear that says great paint. Reams of wiring. Man, I got up to close the blinds so I could see better, and now all I've done is make my setup uncomfortable. I feel like I'm too close. I feel like I'm blowing out the mic right now. If this lighter wasn't empty, it'd be a handy thing to have. Who's doing that? Oh no, tell me you guys don't hear that. Do you hear that? Locked from the other side. Does that mean someone's still inside? Well, I can hear them. I can hear chattering. Thank goodness, maybe I can get some answers. Why won't he open the door? I'll jot down a note just in case. Philip? Why do you want that man to open the door? Do you hear that? He's clearly lost his mind. I feel like he's dangerous. Lighter plus fuel equals kill spider equals happy. More spiders came after him from killing that spider, I guess, because now he's unhappy and he's being chased by a swarm of spiders. Or maybe he's just saying like, oh no, there's still a lot of spiders equals me unhappy. Or maybe this is the first one and this is the second one. But I feel like if you were writing a message on a bookshelf, you'd start from here and then go down, because this is just naturally more comfortable. I presume the guy being creepy in there is the one that wrote that. This shows some kind of trap door, but I can't see where it would be. How can you see that, Philip? Oh, that's worse. I thought that was a bear trap. It looks to be, hot steam from a pipe. I guess he's saying he nearly died from hot steam. Free items in a box. Remove the free items equals safe passage into that area. Okay, that's great. I didn't even notice these were on the wall. That's really cool. Oh my gosh, I can hear scuttering. I don't like it. I don't like this place. When this game wants to be scary, it does a great job, man. What the heck was this used for? I'm surprised you don't have a comment on that contraption, Philip. Refreshment? Is that what it's saying? It was different, but the same. That time, like I had more control. But over what? I don't know, Philip, but we'll soon find out. This is clearly what the wall was hinting at. That's so cool. Now, whenever I play this game, I find this on complete accident. Like, the first time I found it was on complete accident. I never knew that the game actually tells you the answer to the freaking thing. It's right there. That's crazy cool. More spiders equal bad. Doesn't appear to be anything else residing on the walls here. Alright, you're a real funny guy now. Just get up. There we go. Well, there's no ladder. I was promised a ladder. Whatever. Geronimo. Is that whispering real, or is Philip crazy? What's going on here? Looks like nothing of intrigue around here. Okay. Cobwebs that he won't look at. It looks as if this basement caved in some years ago. Something tunneled through here more recently, though. What sort of creature makes these markings? I don't know, buddy. Goodness, was that a spider? I don't like spiders. Spiders in small places. I don't know if I can go through with this. I think I can hear the pitter-patter of tiny feet. There's a lot of character to Philip. Like, adding the detail of him being afraid of spiders isn't necessary, but, you know, it makes me like him more. And there's a lot of things like that. Philip, when you examine items, Philip doesn't just say things for the sake of saying things. Like, he has things to say, and all of them contribute to his personality quite well. Also, this is the ladder I was promised. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back, just in case I'm being chased later. That's what I'm talking about. I can still hear that guy chattering up there. Gosh. A horrible sight. Luckily it's mummified, or else the smell would have been awful. Flare. Dry, dusty old bags. I wonder what used to be in them. Scientific findings numero uno. Day 1, I begin this record, still in the hope that the great work we have undertaken here might one day be of scientific value. So it seems we not only had the army in the bunker, but we had some scientists too. Despite the chaos which has ensued in the 6 hours previous, my aim is to remain secure until what help there may be arrives, alright, and a disaster happened. And to that end, I have barricaded myself into a small workshop area in the abandoned part of a mine. I presume that's this place. I hope that the meager food rations here will keep me alive, and that those that I hide from, will not jeopardize that. Perhaps this mine really is cursed. It's almost precisely 30 years since that incident that brought us here. And now 30 years on, fate has struck again. Alright, so this dude, he knows things. There are things he knows that I want to know about too. Also, I presume the ones he's hiding from are the spiders and dogs, but I don't really know. Day 3, I forecasted that today the rescue crews would arrive, but I can only hypothesize that they would be unaware of my location, and hence busy themselves evacuating the other survivors. If they have not arrived by tomorrow, I will go out in search of them. Shouldn't you go out in search of them now if you think that they're out there? Day 6, my first mistake was to make assumptions on the matter of rescue. Oh man, there's something very humorous about that. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to go back and look at the previous page. My second mistake was to make assumptions on the safety of this mine. My third mistake was to act on both of those assumptions and going outside of my safe haven. My best estimate is that I left in the workshop where I was secured about 2 days ago in search of aid, and I have found only danger. I approached the old living quarters, but curiously, could find no sign of life whatsoever. I returned in what I thought was the direction from which I had come, but soon found myself in an unfamiliar locale. Confused but focused, I attempted to make my way home, but found myself threatened by some species of feral creature, which seems to have made this old mine its home. Although the specimen bore significant interest to me, I chose to retreat, only to find myself outmaneuvered and outnumbered by the beasts. Definitely the dogs that he's talking about here. I turned and ran, injuring my ankle in the process, which I believe now is most likely to sprain, rather than a fracture. For some time I cowered and fled into the dark, but a few hours ago I discovered a door leading to a smaller, disused part of the mine, the key for which I still have in my pocket. Within that area I discovered this storeroom, and I think it should keep me safe for some time now. This place is a maze. My lesson learned: I will not venture out again until I am certain the area is safe. Day 19. Rescue seems increasingly unrealistic. Supplies diminishing. Lots of spiders in this place, and I do not like spiders. Day 34. I caught one of the accursed 8-legged beasts nestling in my open mouth when I woke up this morning. In my surprise, I swallowed it. It's not much the act of swallowing which concerns me, but the genius of arachnid. It would be unlikely that a cave-dwelling spider would be venomous. I believe, Mr. Scientist, the correct term would be poisonous in this specific instance if you're worried about eating it, causing you trouble, to any significant degree, but the possibility troubles me all the same. I don't really think there would be poisonous spiders, would there? I think he's right, actually. I think there are only venomous spiders that bite you to poison you, and I presume if you were to eat a venomous spider, you would be poisonous. Poisoned, not poisonous. Any known venom would have affected me by now, and so today is the first minor cause of celebration I have had since the incident. But, by lucky coincidence, this revelation also means I have discovered a virtually inexhaustible supply of nutrition. I intend to venture into the basement beneath this storeroom in the name of science, to discover more about these creatures' natural habitat. Sorry about my reading skills, they've just truly diminished. For 4 days now, I have been surviving solely off the quite considerable sustenance provided by these spiders. For some time I was struggling to gather enough of the crunchy little morsels. However, Lady Luck smiled upon me once more when the batteries in my torch died and I made a second life-saving finding. The creature's natural habitat is in the dark. With my light now diminished, I need only lie still for a few minutes, and I will have attracted enough of the beast for a rather hearty meal. This is crazy, man. This is messed up. So we have a poor scientist here. Whatever research they were conducting down here went awry. A disaster happened. The creatures came out. It's terrifying to think that in the midst of panic of all the scientists escaping to their hidey holes, presumably, only this guy survived, and while he was hiding out here waiting for rescue, his brethren were being slaughtered by beasts of all manner. And by the time he finally went out in search of rescue, he was alone. I don't know what's worse, to be one of the victims found by the beasts, or to be alone, a last survivor and surrounded by the beasts. He was in quite the predicament, to say the least, and I'm presuming that this scientist in question is the chattering man up on the highest floor. I can still hear the spiders, by the way, but I have no idea where they would be hiding. Alright, I remember this steam could blister flesh from bone in an instant. I know I've seen it happen. Yeesh, that's messed up. Where'd you see it, bud? If it weren't for the size of the pieces, I'd say it looks like eggshells. Day 71. My earlier assumptions on the benign nature of my cellmates may have been made in error. After a careful autopsy, I am concerned that there may be a small volume of natural chemicals stored in the stomach, which, if ingested regularly over a period of time, may become psychotropic or even lethal. My only real chance is to break out of here and raid any stashes of supplies I can find. However, the evidence against such a move is insurmountable. I have no source of light. I swore to myself I wouldn't leave until I heard human voices outside. This spiders isn't so tasty. Alright, yeah, he's already losing his mind. 71 days, oh my goodness me. Day 100. From the marks I've been making on the walls and my scribbled diary entries, which in the dark may amount to an illegible scroll, the day is the 100th day of my new life. Over the past month, my edible friends have become more and more aggressive, and have swelled in number and size. Whether or not this is a result of my plundering of their ecosystem, I am unsure. However, at this advanced rate of growth, they will soon be too large to crawl through the gaps in the walls. For all I know, I could be seeing the tip of the iceberg. If all fails, and I am never recovered, I hope at least that my study of, and indeed involvement with, these fascinating creatures will one day be regarded as an important point in natural history. The greatest names in modern science got there more than through fluke than talent, and it appears this rule has extended itself to my discovery of this delicious new species. I only pray that the second rule deems my breakthrough too insignificant, for all great discoveries tend to consume their inventor. Man, this poor dude, in one of the worst situations you can be in. I love it when horror games do this, when they like add small horror stories in their like, of course there's this big horror story that you're playing through, but when they add all of these other small horror stories through individuals' experience, it makes it so much more immersive, and it's just great to see. Finally, this must be all that's left of the basement storage. That luck looks rather worse for wear. Like, we're experiencing Philip's horror story through his own eyes, but, you know, experiencing the others in their own words it just makes everything so much cooler. That's something fictional games does very well, with the notes that they leave around and whatnot. Looks like I got an item, fluid lighter glass, that's for this. Sweet, okay, that's one step closer to whatever it is we're doing. Sounds like there's a minor leak coming from those steam pipes. That should have done the trick, now we don't have to jump like a lunatic. Whenever I see a wheel like this, I just think of the suitors from Amnesia Justine. Oh yeah, that reminds me, another main character in a fictional game that is intelligent. And I do believe Justine may be a genius, it's hard to tell. She's certainly very good at what she was doing. So she was definitely at least intelligent. I don't like this tunnel. The constant crawling of spiders. I'm just glad to be... You've got to be kidding me. Oh no. The first human interaction that Philip may have had is gone. That is devastating. Even if he was crazy. And the first I think somebody's been dragged through here. I've never seen this much blood before. That was my best chance to get answers. Who else is down here? Gosh, man. That's just terrible. And that is a lot of blood, dang. And that poor guy, man. Philip would have been the first human interaction that guy would have had in forever. I mean, sure, the note said like at least 100 days, but I bet he was down here a lot longer than that by the time we finally got here. To think he survived all that long. What could have possibly taken him away? It sounded like the dogs, but how did they get in here? Alright. He cut off his own tongue by the looks of things here. Well, that's why he was chattering. I could barely understand him. The spider's drawings got worse, as did the drawings of his face. I don't know what this is trying to say. I guess he chased after the spiders. Another key. Looks like a lantern. Well, at least this one's a little more positive, although I question its motivation. Yeah, he's chasing the spiders again. This is the famed pencil that he used to write down all of what he was writing down. Day 200, yikes. It has been some time since I recorded any findings in relation to the spiders with whom I have shared my existence for the past 8 months, partly due to my enforced retreat from their basement territory. Not too long ago, their behavior became overtly aggressive, and so I have attempted to barricade the main entrance to their lair. Oh, that's why that was there. Ooh, bars, I didn't mean to rhyme that. And secured myself within one of the smaller rooms above it. The only one with an operational door lock. The other reason is that I have been recovering from a minor operation, which I was forced to conduct myself. Without the aid of anesthetic, even if I did have any anesthetic or surgical tools, I couldn't afford to be less than diligent with my work. So anesthetic was out. Surgical tools are all well and good, but although it may be becoming old and rusty, I still trust my penknife to do the job just as well. The procedure itself was elementary enough, a simple amputation of a non-vital organ. I began to notice a thick, glue-like substance forming on my tongue, and was forced to accept that it had become infected through constant toxin ingestion. Yikes. Yeah, I went silent for a bit because I was trying to figure out if I had read everything right, because I feel like I lost an important piece of information. But nah, it's just the way he was telling the story of how he cut his own tongue off. Day 300, another century of days comes and goes. It seems like so long since I escaped here. At some stage, since my last entry, I attempted to return from whence I came, that from which I originally was fleeing seems a fate far worse than the one I now face. However, in the time since I've arrived from the larger mind system, a cave-in has occurred, blocking any further progress. I was forced to return and accept whatever end has in store for me. Life has in store for me. I still hear my aggressive little friend scratching on the door to my cell. This poor freaking dude. So when we came up to this door, he must have just automatically assumed that I, Philip, was one of the spider brethren he was living with. What a tragic tale. My heart goes out to that tongueless dude. Oh sweet, there's his tongue. I can see the substance he was talking about. The largest spider I've ever seen with its gut carved open. So this must be the spider he discovered, like they had a minor venom. Why not eat everything except the stomach, if the stomach was the only thing that contained the minor neurotoxin? I guess if it's in the stomach, it must be spread throughout the whole body in some way. So that hole is where he was dragged to. Let's see if we can look into it. Not really, there's not much back there. The hole isn't large enough for a man, not that I'd go anywhere near it. Even if it was, what bird out of that tunnel? I don't know, man, but it's, yikes. There is a worm enemy in this game, but it's humongous. It's way bigger than this. So I guess it's either a smaller, like a younger version of the species of worm, or it's something else entirely that we'll never see. More beef jerky, which he didn't eat for some reason. Maybe this door was locked, I don't really remember. Anyways, go back with the rest of your owner. Oh my gosh, something took it away. I'm getting out of here. That old Philip is a much better thrower than I expected him to be. Did I examine the tongue? I think I did. I don't remember if I did. I hope I did. Alright. In honor of the tongueless scientist, I'm gonna finish what he started and lock it up. Oh, whoopsies. So long, spider fiends. I would say that the spiders were in his head, by the way, because there's no way they could have gotten out of that blockade. But I still hear the scratching and skittering myself, so perhaps he was not so crazy after all. I do believe we got everything we needed to get from that room. Yep. At the very least, I hope so. Suppose I'd like to go to the workshop next. I can't do anything comfortably with this dog around, so I'm gonna see if I can find it. And kill it. I have no qualms about throwing hands with this canine scum. Saying that though, like, I'm a bit afraid. Oh my gosh, the suspense is killing me. Either you find me or you don't. Sounds like he's right behind me, to be honest. Get in, Philip. Alright, we're gonna block this. By the way, when I reach for the hammer, I cannot tell you how many times I have accidentally pressed number 3 instead of number 2. I am so glad I moved these two to the end, because, oh gosh, what a waste of items. Alright, that should keep us safe for now. I don't know what this is in the bags. Mining slag, maybe? Yeah, so... I don't know if this is high enough to defeat the dog with. I think I'd rather just run for now, to be honest. Because he will break through that door now. It might be a good idea to block the door if that dog creature is back there. I don't want it sneaking up on me. Yeah, that dog thing's coming, so we gotta move out quickly. I want to break this for fun. Got a map here. I don't really need it. Looks like I got everything I need. Breaking that for fun. Oh, we should at least see it break through the door for fun. There it is. Wow, that was one hit. Impressive, I must say. It must have broke one of the barrels too. It usually does. Regardless, we're okay for now. It won't find me over here. Got a keypad. We'll need some more info before we can try that out. We don't really have anything to figure out what the code would be. I must say, I do like my chances against the dog enemies, by the way. They're not so tough. But, I'd rather run and hide when I can and avoid a fight. Not only because that's, like, more or less what Philip would actually do, but also because I don't necessarily want to take my chances. I mean, if I can avoid it, I would like to avoid it. Old cartwheels and some other scrap. This must be the only exit and it's caved in. The shaft's caved in here. Could have only happened years ago. I shouldn't be risking my life like this. The whole facility could come down around me. Still, if I want to press on, I'll have to clear that obstruction somehow. There must be something left here that I can use. Maybe there's some industrial explosives lying around. Yeah, this must be the cave-in that tongueless fellow was talking about. I love my workshop. It is too great a hunting ground to let others gorge their faces. One, can it help but feel full, those without such delicate mousy morsels on which to munch. For Red ate ravenously of their flesh today, and shall continue to do so. This is possible thanks solely to the button pad I installed on the door. And yet, Red's mind is working somewhat backwards today. Alright, so it's 8412, got it. Also another crazy survivor in this place. I sincerely hope I got all the items I need here. Better turn this off. Ooh, TNT, we'll need that. Trinitrolian could be used for mining operations. I don't see a fuse. The old cement mix has seen better days, that's for sure. Alright, we're gonna have to drag this TNT carefully over to the... Let me turn my light off first, because you can't do it while you're holding an item. We'll bring it carefully around to the blockade. It's a good thing this game doesn't have proximity, Mike, you know? Otherwise that dog would have been after me already. I am terribly sorry about the darkness, guys. I do hope you guys can see at least enough to not go blind. Well, that's not the right word, to actually see what's going on. Alright, so we have the TNT in there, but we need a fuse for it, apparently. What was it again? It was 8412, right? Or was it 8421? Eight, 4, 2, 1. Oh, that's not it. 8, 4, 1, 2. 8, 4, 1, 2. That's it. That's the one. Oh, whoops. To-do list. Find a keg of explosives, but without a fuse, I'll blow myself up trying to blast the path clear. Find a potential way out of here, but need to remove the rubble first. I think all we need to do is... Yeah, we've already sorted that area out. We've already sorted this area out over here. Got pretty much everything, I think. We just need to sort out the workshop and then move through this area right here on the top northern area. This game is really fun. You know, for Frictional's first game, I'd say they did a great job. Oh, brilliant. One step closer to setting off the explosives without losing any vital body parts. I don't know if they had a game before this. I don't know if this is just their first horror game, or if it's their first game full stop. These look like they've seen some use in their time. Can't have been much fun working down here. In fact, it must have been pretty god-awful. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to imagine it. It's hard graft work. Oh yeah, not going there, not yet. Got a save state there. Man, I just can't see anything. It could just be a piece of ice reflecting a light, or more likely, my imagination, but something's definitely catching my eye under those rocks. An upgrade to the hammer, don't mind if I do. Now this is what I like to see, it's bigger too. All the things you need to be successful as a carpenter. Looks ancient, so old I don't even know what it was used for. If I had to guess, I would say it was used for... I don't know. It was clearly used for pulling rope or something. Maybe it was used for thinning rope? I don't know. Hey man, if Philip can't figure out what it was used for, I can't figure out what it was used for. Saving. These must be tied into what was going on here. If I keep experimenting, I may discover something useful. Or have a heart attack. Oh man, that's good. Freaking Philip, man. Oh, more spider webs. I hope that hole was there before the spiders and not the other way around. Yeah, likewise. An electric fence, and it's been put up recently. I'd better find a way to get over. Yeah, I don't know how you're actually supposed to tackle this, but I always tackle it by, well, I'll show you. I mean, there's a few things you could do, I think. Flare. That's what I really like about this game, and frictional games in general, is, they give you so much room to experiment and do things the way you want to do them, and the bunker still follows that rule. Anyways, we're not going this way. What I'm gonna do... Well, this place is in a serious state. Did that railing come off through despair, or disrepair, or was it ripped off? Very good question. But anyways, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take this barrel here, right, and we're gonna roll it up this bunch of bags, and we're gonna set up like a ramp with these wooden things. But we're gonna do it on this side, not on this side, because the gate that's falling down will block the it'll block the barrel. So let's get to work. Let's get this over with. And while we do, I just want to say, not everybody responds to horrific situations using comedy, but it is very common for humans to be, like, not jovial, that's not the right word, but to act in jest when bad things are happening. Because it lightens the mood and it makes things easier to handle. And Philip is no stranger to that. He has a sense of humor, and I really appreciate it when characters have a sense of humor in horror games and horror movies and just horror fiction in general. Alright, that was a smashing success. I don't know how that worked out so well, but it did. In fact, I would say that's the most success I've ever had when it comes to doing that. But what we really wanted was the barrel to be standing upward, not on the ground like this, because we'll try to jump over it and Philip will get the heck shocked out of him. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this and we're going to place it on here for a bit of stability. Alright, enough pushing that barrel there, my friend. However, I still don't really feel safe enough to be messing with that, so we're gonna add even more stability, because I really don't want to get shocked at all. The only damage I've taken so far, or Philip's taken so far, is damage from the cold. So we're gonna walk up it like a ramp. And this should, in theory anyways, save us from a nasty electrocution shock. Alright. My grand master plan is already falling apart. Philip. Help me, Philip. Don't you have like a degree in physics? Aren't you like a physicist? Use your big physics brain and help. Oh my gosh. That was scary. And we'll turn that thing off. I'm presuming that fellow by the name of Red in the most recent note. Yeah, this individual here is the one responsible for that electrocution thing, the electric gate. And he's on and off for whatever reason. Actually, no, we can only turn them off. I don't know why. Well, because we don't have anything to light it with, that's why. Locked. Darn it, how am I going to get in there now? The door lock does look very weak and old. Explosives. Ah, that's more like it. It's good to see Philip getting excited about something. I think I might have found the explosive storage, in which case I need someone to break the door down. Yeah, normally the hammer won't break this, but the pickaxe is much stronger, so I'm presuming that'll break it. Someone must have been here recently for this to be lit, by the way, because they only have so long before they burn out, don't they? I mean, they gotta run out of oil eventually. Battering ram, like a goat, like a goat, like a goat, like a goat. This isn't working. That's much better. Got nothing on the walls here. Philip with that superhuman scientist strength, by the way. Like, reduced it to rubble. Nothing too practical here. Got some dynamite. More medication. Looks like standard bombs. But we're not here to grab bombs. The dynamite and bombs won't be enough to break the hole. Sorry, the cave in. And all it'll do is alert the dog. What we're here for is a fuse. Perfect, a gunpowder keg. Actually, we already have a fuse. What we need is gunpowder, and we just found it. There's a hole small enough at the top, but not big enough to reach in. Now, you know what to do, Philip. Use that scientist strength. Dry gunpowder, that's what I need. It's soaked in backstrand, so the gunpowder should stick, or rather, I really pray the gunpowder sticks. Unbelievably, this is the first fuse I've ever made. Philip is really likable. Like, I like this dude a lot. He's a great main character, especially for a horror game. It's part of why whenever he's really excited about something like making progress, I also feel really excited about making progress. And the horror is that much more potent when the person you're playing as is that much more likable. Also, these spiders are driving me crazy. They're still just scuttering around all over the place. I want out of here. We're gonna save though, just in case. Refreshments, refreshments, refreshments. I may never get used to that. Righto. We already have the Trinitolian in place. So our best course of action would be to move on forward and set it up. You can always tell when I'm nervous and scared when walking through an area because my commentary devolves into random words that barely make any sense. Like earlier on when I said something like, I hope you guys don't go blind looking at the dark screen. Like, what are you even talking about, bro? I've got the fuse sorted, one spark, and this thing should go up a tree. I just hope it doesn't take me with it, likewise. So we're gonna have to run. I'm gonna find my hiding place of choice. I believe I died the last time I tried to hide there, so don't do that. We'll hide behind here really quickly. And then we'll quickly run into the next area because I don't want the dog catching up to us. A Zippo lighter. Alright, let's get going. The fuse is running faster than I thought. I should take cover. You know, for all the hype you gave about that going fast, Philip, it really didn't go fast at all. It's not much of an opening, but it'll have to do. Puffling has always terrified me. Yeah, I hear you, dude, I hear you. Spelunking, you know, all of that scares the heck out of me. When I look back, I can't think what spurred me on to go deeper into the mine. Probably that there was no return and that there were dangerous enemies everywhere. Perhaps it was arrogance at still being alive, or something as ridiculous as facing adversity and coming out on top. Now, I know I would have been better off starving or being mauled to death than kick this... Oh, hold on, let me restart that. Now, I know I would have been better off starving or being mauled to death than kickstarting the chain of events that led to me ending up here. writing to you. Who is he writing to? I just hope, once you understand my story, you'll have what's necessary to put an end to this tale. I certainly didn't. You're really building up my intrigue here, Philip. And here we are, we're in the next area. Oh my gosh, Philip, that was quite a fall. Are you okay, bro? How are you not dead? You're made of what the crash dummies are made out of. How are you? Wow, I must say I'm impressed at your toughness. Anyways, we're gonna end it here, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been really fun. I'm enjoying this game a lot so far. Very solid start to the entry of horror games that Frictional Games have produced. While it's not scary, I will say, like, I haven't been scared a single time so far. What it lacks in fear, it makes up for in, like, fun gameplay, good mechanics, good character, good writing, and an intriguing story and a great setup too. Like, this is a great setup. And there's nothing wrong with it not being scary, because I don't think it's supposed to be. It's not so much a horror game, but rather an action story game with horror elements. And it does the horror elements very well. So, I'll see you all in the next video. I hope you all have a great morning, day, and or night. Let's see if I can press the right button this time. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. If the video ends, I press the right button.